Here at Gays Talking Straight, we care about your health and well-being. We are not medical experts or healthcare professionals. Nothing we say should be construed as medical advice. If you have questions or concerns about your health or well-being, please contact your healthcare provider. Welcome to Gays Talking Straight. I'm your host, Richard Lamberti. I'm here today with Juan, and we're going to have a conversation about identity and certain kinds of coming out and finding your own path and acceptance in the community. So tell me a little bit about your story. What's been going on for you?
Well, I just find myself on a journey that's been a lifelong journey and really a confusing journey. Not to give my whole life story, but I've always been somebody that was perceived as different by other boys and other girls as well. And I have a flamboyant nature. I talk a certain way, I walk a certain way, and would learn over time, how to try to do that differently.
So you gotta learn to walk like a man?
Sure, talk like a man, yes. Like Birdcage, Robin Williams.
Oh, So you identify as straight primarily?
Outside of a new category in the community, yes, I would say that. Yes.
But your relationships have been with women.
Yes, primarily.
And satisfying. You were married. You're in a relationship with a woman now.
Yes, that's correct.
You enjoy sex as a man with a woman.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would say that exclusively I'm physically attracted to women only.
Yeah. So we're trying to uncover some language here that will work for this.
Yes.
Right? From the point of view of relationship, you are a straight man who wants to be with a straight woman and have that relationship that's kind of the assumption of normal.
Yes.
Okay. But there's other things going on for you.
Yes, because I've learned in my life that is not sufficient to meet all of my emotional needs and psychological needs as well in a relationship. There's always just been something missing in that realm.
So what does that missing look like?
Well, for me, it has a lot to do with this hierarchical, top-down relationship with a man that is over me, to be even a little cliche, a father figure, and a caretaker, somebody that takes care of me, that provides for me, that takes me shopping, that spoils me rotten, and it plays into this fantasy element, and sex is also a part of that, in which I am completely a bottom. And it's a fantasy for me to also be a woman in that sense, in the traditional sense, in the classical movies sense, the woman that stays home and is provided for.
The reference I would use is June Cleaver.
Sure, yeah.
So what we're talking about is that when you're with a woman, you're a man.
Yes.
And you have this particular
even though I still kind of chasse a little bit.
But you say that, and it doesn't seem at all obvious to me, right?
Well, it's yeah.
But you have this clarity about your relationship to a woman. You're the man, and
Yes.
she's the woman.
Yes.
And that manifests not only just sexually, but in kind of the social, cultural norms of the relationship between men and women.
Yes.
Which in and of itself, some people might consider controversial at this point.
Right, yes. When we go out, I pay for dinner,
right.
And I do those things.
Yeah,
but I also long for that in the reverse.
So you want to be able to just flip that whole thing around.
Yes.
That you want to be able to be treated like the woman.
Yes.
Taken out, taken
Yes.
care of, told what to do.
Yes, sure. Told what to wear.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'll wear it. If you buy it for me, I'll wear it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what it is.
And
I have worn
that,
female clothing in the past as well as part of the sexual experience.
In that, you conceptualize yourself as a woman
Yes.
in that time.
Yes.
And it's like, so, if it was possible to physically be a woman in that, in that time when you're being that way, you'd want that.
Oh my God, that's the dream. I mean, like if there was like in a movie, like a magical potion or a machine or anything that does that, and then but as long as I could go back in, I mean that's what I mean about the hats. So I had a conversation with the gay friend. It's like, well, are you transgender? And I'm like, well, no, because I don't have any complaints about being a man, and I enjoy this aspect and this experience that I have with my girlfriend. I enjoy athletics as a man. I know there are many great women athletes, but I just enjoy going to the gym and putting on muscle. I know that there are many women that could do that, but I enjoy doing that as a man. But there are times where I want to be the woman, and I want to be not the we can do it woman or the CEO woman, and power to them. I'm definitely a feminist, but I want to be the spoiled housewife, and I want that role, and it's so fulfilling for me. It's such a turn on sexually, and it's just hard to find that in a heterosexual relationship with me as a man and a woman.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider yourself bisexual?
I have tried that hat on as well, and it doesn't exactly fit for the common vernacular. And as I come to a place where I'm coming out, that is probably the best thing I could say. I've already come out, if you call it coming out, as gender fluid. That's something I'm very open about. Oh yes, after being in high school and bullied and ridiculed for being away and called a fag and gay as a negative.
When in fact, you would have at that point identified really as straight.
Yes,
like
and that
only interested in women, not interested in boys.
And it was so frustrating because I thought, well, am I gay? Like I must be gay, and it was confusing because it's like I don't understand because I act a certain way. I like musicals, and I like to go to theater, and I love to dance, and I love to sing and be.
You sure you're not British?
Right?
But none of that led to sexual attraction to men.
No, and I've never, and still I'm not.
So when
sexually attracted to the appearance of a man, or
only this relatedness thing, that when you
dynamic.
Are in this mindset of being the woman,
yes,
that to fulfill on that, then you have to physically be with a man.
Yes.
But it has nothing to do with the sex per se.
No, and it has nothing to do with the appearance of the man. They could be short, fat, tall, lanky. It doesn't matter. It means
how
nothing.
They treat you. It's
all about the space that's created in the interaction.
Would it actually be like ideal for that to have that relatedness and the way that you want to be treated and all if it happened without actually having to deal with the sex?
I could say it's 50-50. I mean, I don't just give the sex so that I could get that. The sexual expression is a part of it. But if the sexual expression did not occur, or sex did not occur in that dynamic, if a man, for example, was to take me out shopping and buy me things, and we'd go and try on clothes, and he'd kiss me on the cheek and say, "Have a great night," and that would be the end of it, that would be great too. But if that night also resulted in sex, that would be great as well.
Is sex the price you pay to get treated the way that you want?
I would say a part of it, yes. But I enjoy it. I desire it. It's not something I'm just, here we go again.
So the physicality of bottoming is something you enjoy?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
You're a straight man who fantasizes about being a woman and wants to express that as fully as possible within the constraints of what we can do. But that's less about the physicality than it is about the psychological dynamics of how you perceive men relate to women,
yes,
and how you want a man to relate to you so
yes,
that you can feel like a woman.
Yes, I mean, I'm just so jealous of women all the time, and I know women are fighting for so much, especially in this day and age with the political landscape and the hashtag Me Too movement and the glass ceiling that many women experience. And they would, some might view me and say, oh, well, you're fortunate to be a man in that position. But I see it the reverse in a sense, because I see women, I'm like, oh, I want to be a woman. I want to go to a bar and just have a man just buy me drinks and chat me up and all of these things just for that dynamic, to open doors for me. I am a reverse traditionalist.
What do we want to learn in this conversation?
Well, one, I hope that maybe someone's listening that has a similar experience and knows they're not alone, because I feel a lot of times alone. I've not met anybody that has the same proclivities as me, and I've met many people that try to put that hat that they think I fit in on me.
I don't know that it's just about proclivities. It's, that's a word, I get it, but there's a dynamic there for you. It seems, in our conversations, it comes across to me as a fundamental part of who you are. And if it's left suppressed, that it's going to cause its own set of problems.
And it did in my first marriage, yes.
Yeah. So, being able to explore the totality of who you are. And what do you want from us? What do you want from gay men?
I just want the gay community to, and I'm sure this has been said many times, stop and listen. Listen to somebody's story and how they express themselves, both in gender expression and in sexual expression. And be accepting. Be as accepting
How about
as...
believe?
Believe. Oh, that's great. Yes. Believe, accept, encourage. Wow. That is so interesting. I think I know somebody that might
Well, here's the
be
thing.
interested.
It doesn't hurt me to listen to your story and go, oh, that's really interesting. It doesn't take anything away from me for you not to be a gay man, or for you not to just be straight. It doesn't take anything away from me for you to just be you.
Thank you.
And I think that's one of the things that happens in the gay community, is that we constantly try to make each other be something. You need to be more masculine, you're too feminine, whatever it is. There are so many boxes that we try to put each other in without letting people be who they are, believe them when they tell their story, and accept them at face value. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you prefer a podcast, you can find our podcasts at all of your favorite locations, or go to www.gaystalkingstraight.com. And thank you for being a part of Gays Talking Straight.